morning, beautiful people. Hope that everybody is well wherever they are. Yes, you're tuned into the Platinum Mornings, and today we are honored to be joined by a truly inspiring young voice in South Africa's literacy and educational space. At just 22, Emmanuel Sotola is already an accomplished author, educator, and a thought leader known for his emotional, resonant novels like Famous Secret, practical guides like My A Guide, and his powerful self-help book, Right Before the 30 Years Curve. But his impact goes far beyond the page. From founding online tutoring platforms to mentoring young minds, Emmanuel is on a mission to rewrite what it means to be a young, black, vulnerable, and visionary in 21st century of Africa. Please, my beautiful platinums, help me welcome Emmanuel. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm great, thanks. And how are you?
I'm telling, like, JT, it's my first time me and Emmanuel are meeting, né? So we've been talking online. So when he was sending me his pictures, we met through a friend. So we had her here. She was doing the foot golf. That lady, yes.
All right.
So I'm telling Emmanuel that on the picture you look so tall, bruh. And because when he was sitting by the reception, I'm like, no, I'm waiting for a tall, and then I see a very
short man. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I always.
I want you to say it.
I always get.
How's
that.
your morning today?
My morning is spectacular, splendid.
Splendid.
I love it already.
That's we were even talking how you're so inspiring at 22, like thinking about you're very, let's just get to it. I just want to understand, like, how did your upbringing and the passing of your mother, also like shape the person and the writer that you are today?
Oh, that's a very bold question. Well, let me put it to you like this. If there's one thing I've already understood in life, is that a loss of a very important thing to you will definitely unlock a new characteristic in you.
Sure.
So for me, it was a matter of, I know that in life you will lose people and you will lose certain things, but it is very important for you to just keep your head up and look for the next big thing. So for me, it was all about chasing the next big thing that can change me and make me a better version of myself. We are all born with something to do or something to give to a people. So for me, it was always a matter of, I have to try and be a better version of myself. So emotionally, mentally, that situation took me and put me in a position where I had to be responsible and be independent. Not in a way that I just have to move around like a copper bed, to the direction of the wind, but to have a purpose, to have something that I know that if I leave this world, I'll definitely leave a name, a legacy in a way. So my upbringing shaped me in that way.
Okay.
Yeah,
JT.
man, beautiful. Hey, man, you are well spoken.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And you've written a lot of books. Obviously, we are going to touch on that.
Yes.
Is because obviously you are from the East, Tsakane, Tema, and then moving around at a young age. Did that shape you to become somebody that you've been observant of the surroundings and communities that you were part on to say, one day I am going to tell my story and it's going to be in this format?
Definitely.
Yeah,
it did.
Please take me through growing up in different communities and how that helped shape your mind and condition you to become the author that you are today.
Okay, well, definitely. Well, writing, of course, is a journey.
Yeah.
It is a growing journey.
Yeah.
It can either outgrow you, or it can drown you, or it can shape you to a certain individual. And of course, it is into relation with where you are. You need to understand that most of the time we are people who are exposed to whatever. Your environment shapes how you think, how you feel, and how you see the future. That is why they say exposure is one of the most important things that you will ever experience as a human being. So me moving from one community to the other gave me an opportunity to learn the spectrum and different things that happen there. From Tsakani, obviously it is a small township, with people who have dreams, but they don't know where to start. To Guatemala, a formal settlement, a very nice place to live in. You're close to Selkot, exactly. You see people driving nice cars and all that from Pretoria as well. So that collection of experience made me understand that as people, we need to know what is it that we want wherever we are. You know, if you need something or if you need to move from one point to the other, it is very important to understand your current situation and how you can move from that. So I've learned a lot of things, you know. Talking to a lot of young people from these different locations, I've understood challenges that they faced. I've understood opportunities that were not there and also opportunities that were there, that were presented to us. So for me, it was a matter of how do I move from this situation? How do I move from being financially constrained, you know, emotionally unavailable, mentally constrained in a way. Sorry to say that. So for me, it was experiencing different things, different conversation, different people, seeing different, being exposed to different people with different mentality that shaped me in a way that I know what I want and this is how I can move, you know, to get it. So.
I mean, Emmanuel, you're 22.
Yeah, I know.
At what age did that epiphany of saying, I'm going to be a writer, you know, instead of doing something else completely different? Because even now in South Africa, writers are not as much recognized or taken like seriously so much, even with like if I'm a mom and my daughter's going to be like, I'm going to be a writer. I know with parents will be like, okay, maybe try having something. So what age did you say, Yabana Manje, I want to, and what it also inspired that?
Oh boy. Okay. A lot of people don't believe this when I tell them. Actually, I knew that I wanted to be a writer in grade 2.
Sure.
Yeah, in grade 2. I'm one person who loves journaling. Okay. So when I was in grade 2, I used to write a lot.
What?
Like a lot.
What were you writing?
Anything, you know, could be anything. My day, how was my day? What I did at school, the interaction that I had with a particular individual.
Okay.
You know, so from grade 2, it was a matter of, okay. And then I got into poetry a bit. You know, I would watch a lot of poetry people.
Okay.
And I got into poetry and then I started understanding that actually I resonate a lot with writing.
Okay.
And then grade 7, the picture just became clear. And I wrote my first short story in grade 7. And then I gave it to my English teacher. He was Mr. Kekana. He read it and then he said, you're just good. You're just good. And I think this is something that you have to continue doing.
Shout out to Mr. Kekana.
Shout out to Mr. Kekana. And he said, this is not only what you call it, a gift for you, but it is how you are going to communicate with a lot of people.
Wow.
So from there, I just started writing. You know, I kept on writing over and over again until I I landed here.
So you keep writing. You end up writing your debut book, right? Famous Secrets.
Yes.
And I think the core on it's just the mental state or the mental awareness of young men and men, right?
Yes.
We're in Youth Month now, but it's also, you know, men's mental health month in a way.
Yes.
What are the things as a young man and as a man that you wish you never went through that had a hindrance in your mind also, especially going to write a book like, you know, the one that you as your debut book?
Well, there are a lot of things I wish I never went to go through. I think the first one is the absence of a male figure, you know, to mentor me and make me understand that you are a human being and you have emotions. You know, we grew up in a society where men's emotions were just avoided. You know, we're oblivious to how men feel, what they think, you know, what's going on in their lives. So I wish I just had never had to go through that absenteeism. You know, I wish I had someone who was my mentor emotionally, not someone who will nurse me, you know, or try and play with my emotions as a baby, but make me understand that it's okay to feel certain emotions and it's okay to express yourself, you know, as a man, because before you are a man gender, you are a human being and you're like everyone else, you know. So I wish I never had to go through that, because what it did to me, it actually made me feel like we are not as important, you know. It's okay to bottle up. You know, it's okay not to open up to anyone about anything. And that's a very dangerous thing. Why? Because it puts you in positions where you are in the darkest pit. And it's going to be difficult for you to come out of there. You know, you need people who will try and grab you out of there. And it's difficult, especially when you're a man.
And just to follow up on that question, how can we change the mental state of men must be strong. You know, men like they don't. How do you think we can spark that change? How can we work around changing that mentality, even with our little boys? Even I have a little brother who didn't have a dad present, and there are certain things which I will see he will bottle up that he will say to me that I can't express it to your mom because she's a woman and well you're like her. So
Yes, yes.
how do we change that? Let's say you don't have a dad, you know, and there's no way you can get, or you don't even have an uncle or a grandfather, you know, how then what do you tell to that 16-year-old boy who wants to be a man but is told be strong, don't cry, you must be okay?
Well, I think the first thing that we're going to do is try and change the saying.
Okay.
You know, if you preach something long enough, eventually it becomes a truth.
Sure.
I think you
The
should
power
stop.
of words.
Yeah, you should stop saying be strong, be a man, and start saying be a human being.
Eish,
You know,
okay.
because with the minute you say be a human being, automatically they absorb characteristics of being a human being, and that is to cry as well and express their emotions as a man. You know, and then after then you can just train them to become a man.
Okay.
Because being a man has nothing to do with you bottling up your emotions. Actually, it makes you one of the most dangerous human beings to live around.
Sure.
You know, because you're unpredictable.
Yeah.
You know, emotions, they
trigger.
are a serious roller coaster. You know, so start by saying be a human being.
Okay.
It's okay to cry. It's okay to express yourself. We're not saying cry in public in front of everyone or on social media, but have a space or a room where your emotion can just land peacefully. You know, so we can start by doing that and making them understand that it's okay to talk, to vent out. You know, it's not only women who have to talk about their emotions and their problems. You talk as well, because at the end of the day, this is going to sink you more than anyone else. So that's where we start. You know, tell them be a human being before you become a man.
Jeez, man. Someone is sitting now and is thinking, I actually want to take up writing, right? I want to be an author.
Yes.
What are the challenges in essay regarding publishing when it comes to having a book? What are the hurdles that you've had to say, you know, I wish I never faced this. So somebody is starting up, they're writing a book, they want it published and having it in stores. I mean, Books is no longer a CNA, is no longer. So how have you had to navigate? Also, I think this is also my follow-up question to say, how hard is it to get a publisher, especially in essay? And without the physical, you know, because you have a physical book right now with you, how has that also been, you know, a struggle?
Okay. For me, it has never been a struggle per se.
Okay.
Reason why is because
Thanks for your honesty.
Yeah, I was wise enough to open my own publishing company.
Okay.
So I run two publishing companies. So when I started writing, I'm someone who loves dealing with things that are here up close. I don't like going overboard. You know. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to open my own company, my publishing company, because I've been studying. I started studying how to be a publisher. I think I was in grade 10.
What?
Yes, I was studying the publishing industry and the media industry. You know how
Impressive.
to how to be a publisher.
Yeah.
How to get editors, how to get a printing and all that. So when I started publishing my own books, it was easy for me because I would just write a book, send it to my chief editor. They look through it, send it to the designer. They do whatever that is supposed to be done, and then the marketing team just does everything. So for me, I'll be lying if I say I had any struggles or I will have any struggles. It's just easy that way for me. But I do meet authors who talk to me and they say, it's difficult to find a publisher. It's not difficult to find a publisher. It's just difficult to find someone who will resonate with your work, you know, because you need to understand that when you're an author, you need to choose people who will value your work more than anything else. You know, because we are writers, and us being writers, the main purpose of writing is to get the message abroad or across to people. So you need someone who will take your work very, very much seriously. You know, so that's what we do in my companies.
Okay.
Yeah, we value their work more than anything else.
Beautiful.
And then your book, Famous Secrets, it deals about betrayal and like mental health, you know. So what made you feel that that story needed to be told? Is there something that resonated from that book? And also to do a follow-up question on that, what inspires your writing? Because it's poetry, it's self-help, it's different types of, so how do you channel that?
For me, writing is spiritual.
Okay.
Let me start there. It's not something that I wake up and decide that, oh, I'm just going to write. No, no, no. It's more of like a message.
Okay.
You know, like, okay, you are in this situation, right? And chances are there's someone out there who's facing the very same thing that you're facing. And the only way you can get that message abroad is just by writing the book.
Okay.
So, Famous Secret, actually, it is a real life story of a friend.
Okay.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
so I had this friend. He used to love relationships a lot. Yeah, he used to love I mean, you wouldn't find him single. That's how difficult it was. You know, I had to keep tabs with each and every girlfriend you will have.
Sure.
And I remember telling him that, you know, it's nice to be in a relationship, but it's more nicer to be in a genuine one, you know. So you'd have that thing that, nah, well, I'm just experiencing, I'm moving through life. I'm like, you shouldn't move through life. You should understand life.
Okay.
You know, life is a journey. So up to a point where he actually met his match, if I can put it that way. Yeah, someone who really destroyed him. You know, that lady crushed that man.
Sure.
To a point where I stopped looking at his mistakes and started focusing on his current situation. And he gave me a permission. I was like, you know what? I want you to write my story. I want you to write this specific one. I've been through hell, but I want you to write this specific one because I loved that lady. And I told him, I was like, whatever happened was you owing karma.
Yeah.
It's always like that. Unfortunately, because you go around doing things and you think there won't be consequences. You know, life is so funny that way. You know, you do something to people and then
You think you're gonna be okay.
You think you're going to be okay, and then you find yourself in a position where you're like, you know what? Now I want to settle. I want to be okay. Only to find out that you have a debt and you need to pay up. And God brings you closer to someone who's just compatible with you. But unfortunately, you can't have them because you owe
did
karma.
this.
You know, so that's what happened with him,
Okay.
and it was just so painful to watch that I had to write it and then just share his story. But yeah, he's okay now. He has healed. Yeah, he's okay.
And how do you channel the writing from some self-help to poetry? How do you decide that? Because I'd feel for me it's that genre, like
Yes,
music,
yes,
hip hop, and
yes,
R&B.
yes,
So
yeah.
how do you say I'm feeling as much as it's spiritual? Like how does that even come about? Is it a unitary? You know, are you in nature? Are you home? Are you in the toilet? It could be anything. So what? How do you get there? Because I'm a writer and. You don't just write.
Yeah, that's true.
It just happens,
Yes.
and when you go in, you go in
yeah.
and in and in. So how do you channel that?
For me, it has to do with what I've been focused on at that particular moment.
Okay.
You know, if it's going to be poetry, then I'll be in my emotional state.
Okay.
You know, I would want to express a lot, and then I just go deep into poetry.
Okay.
And also with self-help, it will be me talking to a lot of people, having a lot of conversation, and then I pick up issues and problems that are not discussed. And then I'm like, okay, this is what I have to channel, this is what I have to write at the moment. So that's how I move from one genre to the other. And also with the fact that I read a lot, you know, current affairs, whatever that is happening at the moment. So whatever book that I write at the particular moment, it will be relevant for a time being. You know, to, for example, right before the 30 years curve, the generation, we have a lot of people who are in their 20s, 30s, you know, early or middle 20s as well. And they are going through a lot of issues from university, home, unemployment rate, mentality, state, all of that. So I just took that and was like, okay, these are some of the issues that are not discussed. I will just have to go through them and just write about them.
In the book.
Yes.
And reading a lot, right?
Yes.
I wanna understand your stance regarding books that are turned into movies or turned into telenovas and turned into the stories that we watch.
Yes.
I remember we have The Wife, and they are saying it's taken from the book,
Yes.
film, right? What are your stance on? You've read this book, right? It's amazing. You read it, and then they take it and they turn it into a movie, and you watch it as an author. How does that make you feel?
It's good. Oh, by the way, I had that experience, but mine
Okay.
was a theater.
All right.
Yeah,
Was it your?
yes, it was my
Nice.
play. Yes.
Okay.
It is such a beautiful thing to watch. I think those are one of the opportunities that we South African authors are looking for.
Okay.
You know, because we understand that as much as we write books, it's not everyone who reads, but a lot of people do watch television. You know, so when I have my book being turned into a television story or telenovela. It's just a great thing to experience because now you get to see your work being played.
Okay.
You know, it becomes live in front of your eyes. And that's a dream come true for a lot of people. So I think it's just great. I wouldn't say much about that. I would just say it's a great opportunity for others, you know.
And I just also want to ask, because I feel like this is, like it's just nice to meet a writer and an author, you know, because we've had a lot of guests and there's just a lot. I'm going to start with one of my favorite romantic novel, Daniel Steele, because my mom used to read her like a lot.
I
you
know.
know?
Yeah,
you
she's
know,
gay,
very. So
good.
Daniel Steele is like one, and Nancy Drew, you know, also
Yes,
Nancy
I
Drew,
do,
the author.
yes,
So.
yes.
What is who was your favorite? Okay, when was the first time you read that book? That book with 500 and something pages.
That book is
know?
it's very big. It's
And
big.
what genre was it? And what are your favorite books to read?
Am I allowed to say that my favorite books to read are my books?
You can.
More than allowed.
You can. Before
Okay,
you wrote your books, let's say that then. Before you wrote your books.
Before I wrote my books, I'm a nerd. Like a serious nerd.
I'm so glad you asked. Thank you.
All right.
Like you are owning it. They hardly do when.
Well, you should. You are what you are. If you don't accept who you are, you'll never become what you're supposed to be. So for me, I have read such books, you know, fictional books. But most of the time, I love reading books that are scientific.
Okay.
I love reading.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a nerd. I'll just put it to you that way. I wouldn't be able to give you an answer that you're just so expecting. I love reading science, math. I love reading astrology. I do love reading self-help as well.
Okay.
And then one of my favorite book that I've ever read and I love so much is Winning by Jack Welch.
Okay.
There's this book they call Winning by Jack Welch.
Okay.
Amazing book. You know, it's for entrepreneurs.
Okay.
I started reading that book as early as I remember. Let me see. I got it. Oh, it was bought. Oh, my mom bought it for me in 2019 for my birthday. Yeah, I read that book. That book is so good. It's a great guide for people who just want to venture into entrepreneurship. You know, it gives you rules and guidance how to manage your team, how to manage the company, how to talk to people and all that. So that's my favorite book so far, yes. And also my current book.
The one that you're reading even now.
Yeah.
I need to check that book out, man, because outside, you know, other things, I think that's a book that I need to get.
Definitely.
Have you read a book and you're like, I wish I wrote this book?
Yes.
Which book is that one?
Is what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. That book.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it about it that you say, I wish I wrote this?
Actually, when I read that book,
Yeah.
there's where it was talking about understanding that a business, it is an internal strategy more than external.
Okay.
You know, if you can't influence yourself as a business person, you wouldn't be able to influence anyone.
Wow.
It starts with
Okay.
you. You know, if you don't have that thing that, okay, I can actually convince myself to buy this, then just forget about convincing other people. You know, it is an internal thing. You know, you need to take it from you and then you give it to people. You know, it's more of like channeling energy around
Nice.
people, frequencies of success and all that. So when I read it, I was like, I wish it could have been me who had this idea so that I can just spread it out. So yeah, that's the book.
And also speaking of business books, have you read The Capitalist Nigger?
Yes.
And what's your view on that? Because I've read it 8 or 10 times. Like I read it once, and every time I read it, it's like I wish black people had that knowledge of the spiderweb doctrine. And yeah, what's your view on that book?
My view on that book is that it's a great book. Unfortunately, people haven't tapped into the version where they can understand it yet. Because you need to understand something again. Whenever you're reading a business or a self-help book, you're not just reading you need application. And one of the most difficult things about us people, especially the black people, it is application. Application is so difficult. You know, I can recite a book, you know, from page 1 to page 26.
Understand it.
And understand it. But if there's no actual application,
Or action.
then nothing is going to happen. You know? So it is actually one of the greatest books.
Yeah, in
it's
business.
also one of the guidance that I read whenever I
Okay.
need a certain knowledge
Okay.
about my business. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, take it from here.
Okay.
It's a great book.
I mean, you've written a lot of, or rather studied or read a lot of business books, right?
Yes.
What is the core business that you are in, you are in publishing.
Yes.
Are you also into distribution?
Yes, I am.
If you have authors that want to write, how do they get in contact with you? How is that setup looking like?
That's going to be a bit difficult because I'm into business, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the business that I have, they're being run by other people. I run a mother company. So the mother company is one that actually has other businesses below. So if you want to get in touch of people who deal with publishing, I think you can just go to the website. It's like Gamvelisha Zanya Publisher. There's also Hardmore. There's a lot of them. I would be lying because I deal with
So many things.
yeah. So, but my team who deal with the publishing, they know more.
Okay.
You know, you can just get hold of them, and then. But also, if you can get hold of me, I don't mind just referring you to them.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm limited or restricted to anything.
And then growing up, readathon was very much like in tune with, for me, for my primary and high school.
Yes.
Where is the readathon stage right now in South Africa with reading and books?
Reading.
And how do you feel about that with the state that we're at? With
I think people don't read much anymore. Yeah, they don't read. They just listen to a lot of people who speak a lot. You know, I feel like if we can just try and bring back that tradition, but make it fun. Sure. Remember, Sema 2K10, Gen Z. If something is not fun, we are not taking part in
Yeah.
it. Sorry, we're like, no, it's cool, we see it, but since I'm not enjoying it, I'm just going to tap
dark.
out. So I think we need to find creative ways in which we can just draw them in and make them understand that this is essential, not only for the current version of you, but for the future version of you, you know? So as much as it was there and it was beneficial for a lot of people, I don't think it's too much these days, and we need it. So I think it is up to us, people who write and people who have publishing houses and we deal with a lot of books, to try and get creative ways in order for us to do that, So yeah, I think we can try and do that, but it's not much anymore. It's not that great.
You're currently pushing, I think it's a new book, right? Before the 30-year-old curve.
Yes.
How do we find it? What inspired the book? And what do you think is the curve that we are dealing with that we don't speak about mostly nowadays? And is it something we can find in the book? Is it something that's in the book? Is it something that, maybe not in the book? And how do we find the book? Can we order from you? Do you have audio books?
Yes.
Take us through it, because I think it's a recent work that you are currently pushing.
All right. Yeah, I was waiting for that question, by the way, right before the 30 years curve.
Yeah.
So when I was writing this book,
Yeah.
The highlighted thing here is the curve.
Yes.
And the curve is actually that point in life where you find yourself in a position where you're trying to understand yourself first.
Okay.
You're trying to understand who you are emotionally.
Yeah.
You're trying to understand who you are mentally.
Okay.
You're trying to understand your environment. You're trying to understand your belief systems, your customs, and your habits.
Yeah.
That's the curve. It is a point where you say, okay, enough is enough. I'm not getting anywhere. And I need to just take a bit of a curve and then just take another road so that I can become this best version of me. So that's right before the 30 years curve. Now, why did I say 30? I said 30 because of the assumption that at 30, most of people should just be stable.
True.
With a lot of things, the minute I meet you and then you're 30, you're not supposed to tell me that you don't have money or you don't have a car, you don't have a house. No, you shouldn't be telling me that, So that's the illusion which I wrote the book from. Yeah. So right before the 30 years curve, actually, it allows you, to say, okay, start from ground zero. Start from ground zero with everything, financially, emotionally, educational-wise, career, everything about you. Just start from the beginning and then build yourself up brick by brick, with intention and understanding, that whatever that I'm doing today, is it beneficial? No, take it out. Is this beneficial? Yes. Okay, this habit, do I have a good habit? No, change it, take it out. So it also guides you on how to break some of the things and learn, debunk, and also relearn things that are just beneficial for you. So for people who are in their teenagehood, who are in their early 20s, middle, and also late, it is very, very important that you read it because it helps you prepare for you before you reach that age of illusion. Because unfortunately, it's not going away. We will always be in that state. Okay, Mauna 30 is still and unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. So the book tells you that no, you actually don't have to. You know, you don't have to. Ungahlanganisa later, as long as you have the character for that, because you can't tell God to bless you with a car or a house when you don't have a character for that. You know, yeah. You need
deep.
character. Yeah, you need character.
That's
God
profound.
doesn't give you things.
That
He
you're not ready
builds.
for.
Yeah, He builds the character
to be able to receive.
to be able to receive and handle their responsibility. You know,
Got
so
you. That's
what it
okay,
is.
guys. I am very much I'm nyafundisa. It's exactly 15 minutes to the hour 10, and of course, as usual, we have the brunch breezy people. Hello, V.
Hi Zoe and good morning to everyone in studio.
Morning.
Hi.
What do you have for us, my love?
Okay, my brothers, it's Tuesday, so please tune in from 10 until 1. So you're going to be with me. Don't be any feeler. So today we're going to talk about people pleasing and how does it or how to stop people pleasing, because you know a lot of people they tend to forget who they are and have the strong urge to please other people, even if it means coming from their own expenses. So we're going to check up on people pleasing and also check out my symptoms, like how do you see a person who's acting that way and how to stop it.
Are you a people's pleaser?
No.
Okay, thank you so much, my love. Please be sure to check in for Brunch Breeze at 10. We're still chilling with Emmanuel.
Yes,
so
sir.
Emmanuel,
Yes.
I'm picking up that because you even mentioned that you're a very spiritual person, you know. I'm also picking up that you do have a relationship with God.
A lot.
You know, like a constant one.
Yes,
You know.
yes.
How is it important in your artistry to have that relationship with the higher power, to have to like navigate life? How important is that to you? And who you know, was there a situation like sing for Nkulunkulu, or like what happened, or did you grow up? You know, like some of us, it's church, Sunday school. So tell me about that journey with your spirituality and your art.
Well, let me start here. Umakul Gogo
Okay.
in Pretoria,
Okay.
the woman who raised me,
Okay.
Avelot.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, she made it a point that every Sunday is church.
Hey.
Yeah, she will wake me up. She'll be like, we are going to church. And I think she did that because she saw, which you talk a lot, even though you don't have friends, but when you're with me, you talk a lot. And God can use that, you know, can use that to help you move forward in life. Because from that, I actually understood that one of the greatest gifts that God gave me was the ability, you know, to talk to people and try and navigate their life and help them change it. So it actually connects with my art so much because whenever I want to write something, I ask for wisdom from Him. I don't just write because I'm so-called smart. No. I write because I'm grounded by the grace of God.
That's where you get your power.
That's where I get all the strength and
Got
power.
you.
You know, to a point where even if I wrote something and I feel like it doesn't make sense, but God says just leave it there because
It's
it might,
okay.
it might not be for you, it might be for other people. So that's how it connects with me. You know,
Okay.
everyday prayers and fasting and you know asking for wisdom from God. That's how I'm grounded.
Wow.
My artistry.
Okay. That's beautiful.
No, man. Me, I don't think it's a question, but it's a matter of giving you your props. Thank you for starting, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you for saying, you know what, I am gonna embark on this journey, because most of us struggle to start, right? We think starting, you need a rich uncle. You need all these things. You started with what you had. You wrote a book, and you know, I think you're on your 4th, if not 5th.
It's the 7th.
7
At 22.
Yes.
So thank you for starting. Thank you for
Inspiring.
highlighting what you've highlighted: mental health, men's mental health, and for going on this journey. I hope nothing but all the best in it. I know you've got dreams.
Thank you
And
very
one thing
much.
I know about dreams, that dreams are never for one, they are for two.
Yeah.
And through your dreams, you have a company, you have people that you've employed. Especially in SA, you know we're struggling with employment.
Yes, that's true.
Thank you for starting. I can't wait to get the book.
Yeah.
I'll
And
definitely-
I'm going to give you my reviews.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. I truly appreciate
We'll
it.
do a review even here, maybe one.
Yeah.
Your famous
Yeah.
question, JT, before he leaves.
No, he's answered it. He's answered
Your
it.
famous question.
Yeah, he's answered it.
When last you did something?
Nah, he's answered it.
He did.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So JT's famous question. He will ask a guest, when last did you do something new for the first time?
Something new for the first time.
Yeah.
I think I did answer it.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
did.
So I just want to find out what would you tell your 18-year-old self now? 18 is like now, because you're 22. Your 16-year-old self in the mirror, what would you tell them? And also, where can people also get you? And are you going to have a launch for the book, the latest book? Or have you had a launch already? And all of that information.
Okay, so I'll start with what would I tell my 16-year-old? Ne?
Yeah.
Yeah, my 16-year-old version was a serious geek, a serious nerd.
And nerd.
Yeah, I would
A
just
geek.
a serious one. He was so uptight.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love him for who he is brain wise.
Yeah.
But personally,
chill.
He was supposed to just relax.
Loosen up.
Yeah, but what I will say to him is it's okay.
Okay.
This is your starting journey.
Sure.
You don't have to rush to anything. And it's okay to just conserve yourself. Because the world, unfortunately, as much as we love it, is a cruel place.
It is.
And it's okay not to have friends. It's okay to be inside and read a lot, you know. Because at the end of the day, you are just adding 1% to the bigger version, you know. So to the 16-year-old version of me, yeah, you did it.
Okay.
And we
Here
are
you
glad
are.
that each and every dream that you had, you achieved it. And earlier, because we were thinking 25 on it, but you did it earlier.
way earlier.
Yeah. So to the 16-year-old version of me, I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, and then the launch.
The launch,
and
actually,
the social media handles also.
Yeah, at the moment, actually, I was planning to do 3 launches,
Okay.
Cape Town, Durban, and Johannesburg.
Okay.
But more details will come in because the team is still preparing on how to go about that.
Okay.
And then on my social media handles, I'm on TikTok, it's Sithole Author.
Okay.
And then Instagram, Sithole Author as well. Then Twitter, Sithole Author. And then Facebook is just Emmanuel Sithole.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sithole, for joining us.
Thank you for
James.
having
Man,
me.
thank you so much, brother. I really do appreciate you. I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna watch closely your journey. You're an inspiration to me and all the gents, man. You're still young, so much to do, but I feel like I'm speaking to like an older brother. You know, you're way advanced.
Thank you
so
very
much for
much.
spending the time.
Thank you for having me.
You can say bye to the people, JT. It's that time.
It's that time.
Yeah.
Man, guys, it's been amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate you taking the time. You could have literally been anywhere in the world, but you decided to chill with me, Zoe, and Emmanuel Sithole. Thank you so much. Until we meet again, keep God in your heart and your heart with God. Bye.
Thank you. Yeah, I was waiting for you to say what you said. So anyway, please be sure to tune for us tomorrow, same time, same place. Adios, amigos.
Bye.